More than once in history, people were not killed by accidents or wars, but by experiments that were officially approved, carefully documented, and carried out by doctors, scientists, and governments. These were not mistakes. These were decisions. Living humans were turned into test subjects, and their suffering was recorded as data. Tuskegee syphilis experiment. For 40 years, hundreds of men were slowly dying from a disease that could have been cured. Beginning in 1932, more than 600 men in the United States were either already infected with syphilis or deliberately left untreated, while doctors closely observed how the disease destroyed their bodies. They were told they were receiving medical care. They were given tests, injections, and regular checkups. In reality, treatment was intentionally withheld. When penicillin became widely available in the 1940s and syphilis was no longer a death sentence, the experiment was not stopped. The men were never informed. They went blind, suffered organ failure, developed severe mental damage, and many died. Their wives were infected. Their children were born with congenital syphilis. Dozens died directly from the disease. Hundreds suffered permanent harm, and the experiment continued until it was exposed by the press. It ended not because it was cruel, but because it became public. Unit 731. In the 1930s and 1940s, Imperial Japan operated a secret military research facility known as Unit 731. Officially, it was a scientific center. In reality, it was a place where thousands of people were tortured and killed in the name of research. Prisoners, civilians, men, women, and children were deliberately infected with plague, cholera, anthrax, and syphilis. Many were dissected alive without anesthesia, so doctors could observe how diseases destroyed organs in real time. Limbs were frozen until the flesh died, and then thawed to study the effects of extreme cold. People were tied down and shot to measure bullet damage. Others were deprived of food and water to document how long a human body could survive before death. Tens of thousands of people died. Exact numbers remain unknown because records were destroyed and bodies were burned. After the war, many of the doctors involved were never punished. They were granted immunity in exchange for their research and continued their careers as respected medical professionals. Guatemala STD experiments. In the 1940s, doctors conducted medical experiments in Guatemala in which people were deliberately infected with sexually transmitted diseases. Prisoners, soldiers, children, and patients in psychiatric hospitals were exposed to syphilis and gonorrhea without their knowledge or consent. In some cases, infection was caused through injections. In others, doctors arranged sexual contact to spread disease. The purpose was to observe how the infections developed and to test treatments. Many victims were never properly treated. Some died. Others suffered lifelong health consequences. The experiments involved thousands of people and remained hidden for decades. Official apologies were issued more than 60 years later, long after most of the victims were already dead. No one responsible faced serious punishment. MKUltra. During the Cold War, the United States launched a secret program known as MKUltra, designed to study mind control. Ordinary people were unknowingly given LSD and other psychoactive substances. Some were patients. Others were prisoners. Some were simply citizens who had no idea they were part of an experiment. The drugs caused severe psychological reactions, including paranoia, hallucinations, psychosis, and complete mental breakdowns. Subjects were isolated, deprived of sleep, and psychologically abused while researchers observed how quickly a human mind could be broken. Several people lost their sanity. Some committed suicide. Many suffered permanent psychological damage. When information about MKUltra began to surface, most of the documents were destroyed. The full scale of the program was never revealed. Final. Wars eventually end. Deadly jobs did not. They paid wages, fed families, and looked ordinary, which is exactly why they killed so many people without resistance. Because the most dangerous things in history did not arrive with violence or weapons. They arrived with job offers,